You won the Lakeland 50 the last 2 years, and this year, if I remember rightly from what you told me, your A race is the Lakeland 100.
Yeah.
Which is in about 6 weeks.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah.
And what's your thinking behind doing the Lakeland 100 this year instead of the 50?
Well, the Lakeland 50 was last year was absolutely mint. The race just went so well, and to win it the second time and take the course record was just the best. It was just one of the best days ever, running wise, and I just don't feel there's any point going back and trying to do anything different with that. I'd rather keep that as it was and enjoy that. But I remember finishing the Lakeland 50, or on the way to finishing it, passing the 100 runners that had been up since the night before, and just thinking, I've no idea how I would run another 50 miles. So that sounded like quite a good challenge to try and sort of deal with that and put that as the challenge the year after.
Sure. And so you've entered the 100. And when did you start training? Or how long's your training plan been?
Yeah, quite late this year because I had quite a lot of fatigue last year, and sort of November time just crashed, and so I had to spend sort of 6 months through the winter rebuilding that before I could start training again, really. So there was a lot to work through with that, so I didn't start training till March this year, which isn't ideal. Really, I'd rather have had a good winter of some base work in there, but you know, I am where I am, and the great thing is, since March, since I've been training again, you know, it's all gone to plan. I've not had any reasons not to train. You know, everything that I've wanted to do training wise is sort of pretty much gone to plan. So that's been really positive.
So what is that? You got March, April, May, June, July, 5 months training.
Mm-hmm.
So do you? I don't know. I have no idea how you train for 100. Is it kind of like a marathon training program but 4 times bigger, or do you do 4 times the mileage, or you know, are you out?
It's a good question, really. Yeah. No, it's a good question. It's something I've had to try and figure out a bit this year, and I think, I mean, it's definitely a different plan to a marathon training plan, of course. And it's different to my training plan for 50 as well, absolutely. But yeah, I think I'm still learning with that. I think with the 100, because I haven't done a 100 miler before, there's a lot of unknown stuff in there, so it's just trying to look at what the unknown parts are and sort of say, well, what can I do to practice those, or make them less of a risk come the event itself. So yeah, certainly, probably more volume. I've been able to put more time running in, but I've been quite careful not to do lots of just junk miles.
Okay.
You know, it's still been quite structured, and still been an element of speed work and stuff like that in there earlier on. So it's tough. You know, for the first time doing an event, you don't always know what your own sort of strengths and weaknesses are.
So how do you practice for being awake for? I'm guessing you in your head you're going to be out for 20 plus hours, maybe. I don't know what the exact time is, and I don't want to ask you ahead of it because you'll have your time that you're telling people, and then you'll have your secret time written down for yourself. But you're going to be awake for 20 to 24 hours, aren't you? And running. Yeah. How do you practice for that, or what are your thoughts around that? Not having done it yet.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, I guess it's like, I looked at it in the way that if you want to get faster running uphill, you practice running uphill. So if I want to get used to being awake all night, then practice being awake all night. I think past experience in the forces and stuff like that. We've done quite a lot of sleep deprivation and things anyway, and I always kind of thrived off that.
Okay.
So I quite enjoyed that. So this year I did a couple of things just to try and sort of practice it again, and just get used to that feeling of that 4 o'clock haze where you're quite groggy and sleepy, and your mind can dominate things if you're not careful. So I did a 24-hour mountain bike event in February, which was good fun. So that was just a good chance to practice being awake, practice some nutrition stuff, without physically running and putting a lot of stress through my body.
Sure.
But it turned out the mountain bike race was quite hard in itself, and I got quite a battering from that. So, but it was good, and I enjoyed being up, for that long. So that was cool. Yeah.
And what did you learn from that? Is there anything you learnt, or did you find anything out that something worked or something didn't work?
Yeah, there was definitely times. I think when it got dark and kind of reality kicked in that you would then be going for another 20 hours or whatever, because it was February, it got dark quite early. There was a few sort of mind games going on there. So it was good to experience that and overcome that. And then great to try a few different fueling strategies as well through the night and see what kind of worked well and what didn't work well. So yeah, porridge and coffee, that was good. Yeah, that seemed to be good. Some strong coffee at sort of 4 o'clock in the morning was great. Yeah,
kept you awake and alert.
Yeah.
And how did you find the route finding at night? Was that, I'm guessing if it was a mountain bike thing, it was probably on a circuit?
It was just a 7-mile loop, so that was pretty easy.
Okay.
I think we managed 3 or 4 hours in the daylight before the night time, so we knew the route very well by then. So that was okay. Yeah.
Can I ask, did you schedule your caffeine intake, or was it more played by ear?
I was trying to avoid it for as long as possible. I think that was kind of my way of thinking with that. But then I think if I was going to do it again, I would probably start using it a bit earlier, just because of how good I did feel when I started using it, and I didn't really feel that I then crashed afterwards. I was kind of...
Was that the concern beforehand?
Yeah, I didn't want to start it beforehand and then sort of just crash and then have to take loads and loads and loads of caffeine and then when you finish, you're still buzzing, and yeah, it can be quite a sort of nasty feeling, if you're still absolutely buzzing off caffeine and you've stopped, but your brain can't stop. Yeah.
And you're not a big coffee drinker, are you? I mean, it's not, I don't...
I go through phases. I enjoy coffee, but I've stopped drinking it again while I'm training. I've just found that I perform better day to day health wise without it.
Yeah.
I sleep better and everything else.
And does that then, do you think, have more? So that if you then take coffee during an event, do you think that then has much more of a bump?
Yeah.
Because you've not been using it in your kind of daily life.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I went through a phase of drinking coffee again, didn't I, in sort of March, April, when I started training again, just to try and help me get going. But then I was finding, it just wasn't doing anything. It was like, I just need coffee to function in the morning, and that's kind of takes over rather than it being, something to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becomes more of a crutch then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Talk to me about you mentioned junk miles. I'm really interested in junk miles. So what do you mean? What are junk miles?
I think a lot of people have different types of junk miles, and I see this as a coach quite a lot. People come to me and they say, this is the running that I've been doing, and you can see, it might all be just the same stuff. Whether it's every single run they go out and they go as fast as they can, or actually every single run they go out and they just go out and go for a run. I think for me it's just making sure each run has a purpose.
Okay.
And that purpose might just be to go out for an easy recovery run. In which case it's fine, but you stick to that.
Okay.
You don't sort of get halfway around and go, actually, I'm going to do a tempo session, because then that might have a knock-on effect for your next
tempo run, or what
your tempo run the next day, or whatever.
Okay.
So I think it was about making sure, yes, I wanted to build my mileage up more than I've done before, but I wanted to make sure that was made up of mileage with a purpose, really.
So all your building blocks.
So
had a reason.
Yeah, every run there was a reason behind it, even if it was just a 4-mile run with the dog, and that can end up being 9-10 minute miles, stopping and starting and stuff like that. But it's just a recovery run, so it's got a purpose.
Like I was about to start meditation.
So do you think then that those junk miles are sort of one of the biggest problems? Because I know if I was to go for a run, I'd have no purpose in mind. I'd probably go out thinking I was going to go easy, and then pick up the pace very quickly once I got bored, and then all of a sudden I'm sort of, what would have been sort of a recovery run or whatever is taken over. Do you think that's one of the big problems with a lot of people, say, training their first sort of run, training for the first marathon?
Yeah,
when we first started, it was as well, wasn't it? You just love running so much, you want to run as much as possible. You just go out and if you feel good, you go a bit faster. And we got tired really quickly, didn't we? And then you learn.
I think it's
How long did it take to learn?
Probably a year.
But
God, I'm
it's
so
kind
tired
of,
at the end of the year.
it's
Why
easy,
am I so tired?
yeah.
Because you've been doing nothing but run.
It's easy to take the fun out of it as well.
Yeah.
And if you're not training for anything, then there's nothing wrong with it. You just go out and you do what you feel like doing. And that's probably what I did a lot in the winter. Was I just wanted to go out and do what I felt like doing. But then, when you are training and you're being quite specific about what you're trying to do, then I do think there's a big danger with that you just end up just doing what you feel like doing, and then you're 4 weeks down the line and you haven't actually done the sessions that you needed to do.
So is the remedy to that pretty much to follow a program? It doesn't have to be the world's best program, but just follow something and stick to it, or?
Yeah, I think, and some people kind of work best having a program that they can just follow. And some people just don't respond well to a program. But yeah, for me, and for what I've seen with some of the people that I coach, having that program, even if it's a bad training program, is better than none at all. It just gives them focus and keeps them in line with what they're trying to achieve.
So you obviously coach a lot of people. I imagine both of you do sort of, and you're doing a workshop, aren't you? Is it this weekend?
Yes. Yeah.
So is there any sort of things that come up over and over again as issues that, not necessarily issues, but mistakes that people that are relatively new or still in the first sort of couple of years, or gaping errors or big holes in people's games that you see come up time and time again, or?
That's one, isn't it?
Other
Junk
than
miles.
junk miles.
Yeah.
I think doing too much too soon. So if you get interested in ultras early on and you've only ever done, 10Ks and half marathons, then everyone's going, oh yeah, you can do it, and you just jump straight to an ultra. That's when you start to see people getting injuries and like repetitive injuries and stuff, because they're just doing the junk miles to try and train for the ultra. That's one you hear about quite a lot. Like, oh, I've got an IT band issue, or what's another repetitive? Plantar fasciitis or something.
Yeah.
It's usually too much too soon, not building up distance. That's a big one.
Do you think there's a certain amount of either time or distance that someone should have been doing running for, or running for, I suppose is probably more the phrase, before they start looking at going further than a marathon?
It's different for everyone, isn't it?
Different for everyone.
Yeah, I
Jayson
think
did his first ultra before I did, and I'd been running longer distances for longer than him. But it's a mental thing as well. Sometimes you need to have the confidence in yourself that you can do it, and you need to be strong enough to do it as well. Like again, Jayson had been doing a lot more physical stuff for longer in his life than I had. So
By strength, do you mean, I'm going to say proper strength, and it's going to sound bad, but proper strength, or sort of like just being a good runner, a strong runner?
we
No,
both
I
think
think
proper strength
as,
is.
as an example, people who have physical jobs
Yeah.
do seem to do much better and get injured less than people who've got quite sedentary jobs.
Do you think part of that as well is time on the feet?
Yeah,
Just being used to stood up
yeah,
for
you've
a
just
long
been
period
used
of
to
time.
on your feet, moving about and working. And I've kind of been on both sides. You know, I've had physical jobs and I've had a sedentary job, and I've always been much better when I've not been sort of chained to a desk all day. So yeah, I think everybody's so different and they've got such a different background that it's hard to say before you do ultras you need to do this or this, because it just depends on that person and what they've done historically. Definitely.
Each to their own.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Would you recommend someone at least do something like a marathon beforehand, or would you say you could be a 10k and just be a good runner and give it a crack?
You need to know. You need to know a little bit what it's going to do to you, mentally as well as physically. Definitely, don't you?
Yeah,
You'd probably say the opposite to
somebody
me.
who just got up one day and decided to run 100 miles in bare feet or something like that would be crazy. Yeah, but I think, but sometimes it's a great way to learn.
Yeah.
You can learn so much from just going and doing something completely crazy. Why not sometimes?
Yeah. So 100 miles and 50 miles coming up very shortly. What's the sort of preparation, including sort of the recce and all that that's going into it?
We're going over next week to do my bit. So we're going to do Pooley Bridge to Ambleside on one day and then Ambleside to Coniston the next day, and we're going to sort of do sections, I hope, not all of it at race pace, sections at race pace, to get a feel for it. I've already done the course before as well, so we know the navigation is fine, it's just the pace, it's practice, and then you're going to go over again, aren't you, to do some of your stuff?
Yeah, I want to try and go over and do some bits in the dark that will be in the dark on the day. So it's a lot of event specific stuff. The last 3 weeks is event specific. If possible, trying to run on similar terrain, so the same sort of amount of climbing and stuff like that, even if we're not in the lakes, over here. So yeah, more specific to what the race is going to be.
I guess this last weekend we did the Waynestones Marathon as well, just to, I don't know, for sort of a blast out, a good distance blast out. So that was useful, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you both won that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs.
Hopefully a sign of things to come for the Lakeland.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. Is it?
I don't know.
It's not my plan.
Yeah.
So you were saying then about recce in places that are going to be dark in the day. Would you ideally, I know obviously it's time and getting out to the lakes, would you want to do that in the dark as well, or is that something you would save for race day?
Sorry, yeah, I've sort of looked at the route in the daytime already, so then it is the next stage is to go and run it in the dark when it's going to be dark.
Psychologically, how much of a difference does it make when it is just proper dark out there? Because I imagine there's very little sort of natural lighting coming, it'll just be you and a head torch.
Yeah, I think psychologically it makes a difference anyway, but kind of physically, it's just harder to run fast in the dark. just because you can't see as much, you haven't got as much peripheral vision, you know, so your spatial awareness is different and everything else. So
The section you're doing in the dark is hard as well, isn't it? Technically, isn't it?
No, it shouldn't be. No, I'm trying to get through that
Well.
bit before it gets dark. That's the plan.
Which is the technical
Yeah.
bit.
I think the first 26 miles is probably, I think for me, the roughest bit. Technical, just kind of hard going as well.
Okay.
So the big climb through Black Sail Pass and then down the other side as well. So it's trying to get through all of that before it gets dark,
Okay.
so that you don't, you know, have to slow down even more.
And what will it be dark about? 10:30?
Guess so.
I'm hoping
Maybe even
a bit later. Yeah.
How
Before
far's-
it's properly dark.
Yeah. How far's Black Sail Pass into the?
I think it's just after. Buttermere's 26 miles in.
Okay.
So it's before Buttermere. So it's probably 3 to 4 hours in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. So yeah.
So it's a fairly steady route up to Black Sail, but it's then the descent.
Yeah, but I mean, even that, it's quite rough. It's you know, it's sort of moorland with, I don't know what they're called now, little tufts of grass.
Tussocks.
Tussocks. We used to
yeah.
call them babies' heads in the army.
Baby's head.
Stumble on that
Nice.
baby's head.
Nice military term.
Yeah, there's a military term. Yeah.
So yeah, they're tussocks.
You might have to cut that out.
They're tussocks. Yeah, and then I guess you're traversing that pretty much the whole time, aren't you, till you cross the river?
Yeah.
Till you cross that beg.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what the pass is, just before Buttermere, and then down the other side, down to Buttermere is quite rough as well.
Yeah.
So I think if you hit that in the dark, that's a bit of
Want to be sure where
a
you're
bit of a
going.
pain, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're going to do that in the dark in a couple of weeks?
So yeah, I've already done that section, sort of at that time of day. So that's okay. It's the bit Braithwaite to Dale Main
Right.
that I want to do at night. Yeah, which actually I quite like. It's quite traily and runnable, hopefully. Yeah.
Cool. And Kim, have you done the 50 before?
Yeah, I did it 2 years ago.
And how did that go?
It was good. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it because the first couple of times we recce'd it, I hated it. I thought it was too rough and rocky and technical.
Okay.
But actually, in comparison to stuff we've done, it's quite nice. So the more I've run around there, don't look surprised. I've said this before, haven't I? The more I've run on it, the more I've enjoyed it. And I wasn't really racing that year because I wasn't expecting a lot. It was the Half-Mars Grand Slam year.
Okay.
So it was bang in the middle of the 110 and the 60. So I was pleased with the outcome, and I felt all right considering how much I'd done that year.
And what time did you do?
I did just under 9:45,
Okay.
and I was 30th overall, which was shocking to me. I was fourth lady, but there were some really good ladies that year. There's some really good ladies this year as well, so I was really pleased with that.
It was always a good field, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So, I was chuffed with that. I'd like to I'd like to be somewhere around 9 hours this year.
Well, that'd be a massive improvement.
It would,
wouldn't it?
yeah. I think it's doable. Other people have knocked a substantial amount of time off, and it was my first go, and I wasn't really racing, so if I get my focused head on, it should be doable.
Yeah, absolutely. And your racing's improved a lot. I mean, your running's
Yeah.
improved a lot in the last 2 years, isn't it?
Well, yeah, my racing's better.
I'm not just saying that because coach is here.
No.
No pressure.
I am better at racing than I used to be.
Okay.
I don't like competing very much still. Like this last weekend, I ran with this lady that was second for pretty much half of it, and we were chatting, and I was showing her where I was roseberry topping and stuff, petting some dogs and things, and I thought I'd better actually crack on a bit because I wanted that backpack.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm better at racing and being a bit tactical, I think, but I'm not keen on it. I don't like the pressure.
Okay.
So we'll have to see what that brings as well. Because again, there's good ladies this year.
Well, including you.
Yeah.
Chris, what's next?
So talk us through the specific sort of challenges that come with the Hardmoors. Obviously, pretty much any ultra's got certain things. Is there anything specific to the Hardmoors that makes it difficult or challenging or even just enjoyable?
A lot of people that have done Lakeland races, in comparison, have said this is a lot more runnable. So it's better for trail runners than it is for people that like sort of hiking, which I think is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you get over onto the coast, I think it's more runnable. So yeah, you've got to be a decent runner, I think, to do well at Hardmoors.
Sorry, I meant Lakeland.
Oh.
I got it a couple of times.
I wondered.
Yeah,
I wondered.
I'll cut that bit out. We'll keep the baby heads in. But sorry, if we go
So
back
Lakeland
to that.
specific.
Yeah.
Lakeland, right? Well, in that case, there's a lot of walking. There's a lot of hiking if you're not a sort of fan of running uphill. So things like, is it Fusedale, the big long drag? You're going to be walking up stuff like Fusedale, so you need to get good at strong hiking, because that can really sort of knock you, and it's a bit of a slog. So if you're not good at just grinding out the climbs, you're going to struggle a bit. I guess some of the descents are what put me off a little bit. A lot of people think they're not that bad, but some of them are quite loose and quite steep. So you need to work out how to do that as well.
Yeah, I think the climb and descents are just long.
Yeah,
They're
longer than
they're
you've
all
got
quite
around
long rather than short, sharp, up and down, which is what we're used to over here. You know, sort of longest climb you can find over here is probably 10 minutes, whereas anything in the lakes you climb for quite a bit longer. So I think it's just getting used to that. Climbing for half an hour, but then transition straight into being able to run quite well and relaxed on the descents, but it's nice in a way because you can get in a good rhythm, and you can if you just get in that rhythm, and whether you're running or walking up the hill, you can get into that and just sort of grind it out, which I quite enjoyed on the Lakeland 50.
What's the tactics with deciding when to walk, when to run?
It's individual again, isn't it?
Do you set that out beforehand for yourselves?
I think I know in my head what I'm going to do on a course that I know, but sometimes you've just got to go with how you feel on the day. Like ideally, you would run I would run some of the way up Fusedale, and then I'm probably going to get to a point where I'm just going to start walking. And again, I think I sort of know where that should be, but if I'm feeling if it's really hot or I'm hungry or whatever, I'll stop and walk. But if you can get a good fast walk on, you can be faster than running. You save some energy as well. So it depends on the climb, it depends on the situation, it depends how you feel. Yeah, I don't know.
I think sometimes you just get a feel for, actually I could walk this quicker than I'm running it at the moment.
Yeah.
And it might just stretch my legs a bit. So yeah, I think I just go by kind of feel and experience.
And if you know what's coming as well.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I think doing the recce's help, because you can recce the route kind of at race pace, but then know, okay, I can still do race pace, but I can walk this. I don't have to run it to be able to hit that kind of pace that I want to do.
So what, for someone that's never done a recce before, I don't quite understand what you're looking for. What would you say, like, what do you do on a recce? Is it just running the course, or are you looking for particular things? Are you trying to get an idea?
For Lakeland, it's getting to know the course because it's not marked at all. You need to, if you're not going to recce at all, you're going to need to have a road book or a map with you the whole way, because you can follow people. You can probably follow people that know the way, but you're not guaranteed that they're going to know the way all the time. And they might be going at a different pace to you.
They might be going somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed to follow somebody. You won't just follow somebody who's just finished a 5-mile run and they're running down to their shepherd's hut, and you kind of go, oh, they've stopped.
That happened to you before?
No, never happened to me.
Come into my shepherd's hut.
Never happened to me. But you're trying out your kit as well, I think, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're testing your kit, you're testing your food,
your
shoes, your coat, your backpack.
So So on a recce, would you do pretty much everything as you would for a race day, or are you experimenting? And
I think it depends kind of how often you can get onto the route. I think the first, if you can do a couple of recce's, that's great. First time round you would just be learning where the route goes, and that just takes time, and you stop start a little bit. So certainly the main thing is just to know where you're going, so you're not spending time during the day trying to figure that out.
I think the first time we did it, I'm not very good at navigation, but I'm better with words. So we took a road book, didn't we? And I just followed the road book, and Jayson followed me because I'm not good at navigating. He is, and that worked really well because now that route is in my head, and I don't think I would get it wrong.
No.
I think I know it well enough, but we were steady. So that's something that's really important.
The road books are really
Road
good
book's
as well.
brilliant, yeah.
The road book being a written description of the route, which is quite they're absolutely spot on.
Because while it's not, they're really good paths and they're clear and everything, it's not obvious where you need to go, and it's quite tricky, that particular route, isn't it? So I think you need to know it, or you're not bothered about time and just follow the road book.
Yeah, I think that's what's nice about the route, to be honest. It isn't just
it's not obvious.
the Lakeland motorways that you get. It's different stuff that you would probably never do, or I would never have done, without doing those events.
Give you a chance to do some cool places.
Yeah.
So you don't get support runners or anything like that with this, do you?
Yeah.
You obviously got stop-offs at the different checkpoints, but what do you take with you? I know we sort of went and met Mark, and we sort of went through disposable cups and such random things. Is it folding cups? Or is there anything particular that...
Collapsible cup.
Collapsible
cup. Get it right.
Is there anything particular that you pack with you, any kit that you find essential, or... And this isn't us waiting for a product plug at all. It is the opposite of that.
Yeah. No, I think that's one of the challenges of the Lakeland is it's unsupported. So whatever you need, you have to carry, unless food-wise the checkpoints are really good. But still, for me, I want to be self-sufficient as possible. But essential kit-wise, just anything that's going to help the time in the checkpoint stay to a minimum as well, really. So being able to fill up your water quickly and things like that is good. But the same thing, I think one of the challenges for me has just been the food and nutrition side. Knowing that whatever I'm going to need, I'm pretty much going to have to carry. But at the same time, I'm going to have to eat it for 20 hours or whatever. So it can't just be gels and sugary stuff. So I guess that's been a challenge for me, kit wise. Yeah.
I suppose weight comes into that as well. You don't want to be carrying something that's going to be heavy food wise.
That's it, yeah. You want something that's going to give you the carbs that you need, or the calories that you need, but not weigh a ton while it's doing it as well. So we were looking at some options with that as well, even just like freeze-dried stuff that you add water to or whatever. But certainly trying to get away from stuff, with maltodextrin in and things like that don't do your stomach any good, after a period of time.
Do you carry anything that's probably, I want to use the word superfluous, there might be wrong using it, but unnecessarily heavy or takes up space that could be filled better, but you just like to take it?
He doesn't.
No.
He's the packing master.
Is he?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
You'd probably say I do. I don't think I do.
No, you don't.
I just
take
don't pack
stuff.
very well.
It's just all lumpy and sticking out everywhere. And I'm like, how do you run with that? It's like digging in your back and stuff.
It's not. It's just that Jason's is like.
So Kim has a
Oddly
non-aerodynamic packing style.
Not after I've let him leave with it.
Yeah, give me a pack. I'll sort it out.
It's one of Jason's favourite pastimes is packing packs.
Yeah.
So
Jason stands in a wind tunnel with his pack just to make sure it's right. Have you tried any? So did you try the freeze-dried food?
I've not tried it yet because I've been trying the Spring Energy stuff.
Okay. So you got hold of some?
Yeah, got hold of some. Yeah, it's really good actually. Yeah. I used it on the Wayne Stones I've sort of been trying it, like with other stuff. Like Transvolcania, I still used it with my torque gels, just in case. Whereas the Waynestones was the first time I've used that on its own, because you're still trying to get confident with something. So it takes a bit of practice and just trying it. So yeah, I used some new. They're not really gels, but they're like a natural mush, baby food type mush. But yeah, they're okay. They're nice. So yeah, they were really good. And trying dates as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was eating those and dates. That was alright. That was good. Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
So I think if I can have those Spring Energy gels, dates, and cheese and pickle sandwiches, that might be alright. Yeah.
Cool. You won't be able to carry them around with the cheese and pickle.
Well, I can
They've got
carry
most of the
wraps
check
around.
points, haven't
Yeah, wraps are good as well.
Yeah.
They make you.
They fit you,
All of
where
the
you- where your
packs
bowls
now
go.
come with pockets for wraps.
So you can call in KFC and get a wrap.
Yeah, or burrito.